Okay, so today we will continue with our lesson. Okay, so previously we learned about how you want to what are the challenges when you are working international. Okay, because right now in this era, so globalization is one part of our society already. Okay, so it's really common to see uh foreigners come to the new country and working there as a expatriate. Okay, so it's a common scenario nowadays. Okay, so that's why we have to understand. Okay, to be a better manager on the international level, so we have to understand what are the challenges that we will facing when we go to the international level. Okay. All right. So that's what we already learned in the previous class. Okay, so in this class we want to continue. Okay, so we want to continue with the next chapter, which is how you want to manage diversity. Okay, so when we working with other people, okay, we will see lots of differences and similarities between us and the other people. Okay, so everyone is unique. Okay, so how you want to manage the uniqueness of the individual in your team. Okay, so that is what we will learn in this chapter. All right. Okay, so in this chapter, these are the learning objective. Okay, so we have 5 learning objective in this chapter. First, how to define workplace diversity and explain why effectively managing diversity in workplace is important. Okay, and then second one, describe the changing makeup of workplace in US and also around the world. Okay, and then explain the different type of diversity in workplace. Okay, and then discuss the challenges manager have to face when you have to manage diversity in your workforce. Okay, and then lastly, describe various workplace diversity initiative. Okay, so that's what we will cover in this chapter. So as an introduction, we have to understand what is diversity. What does workplace diversity means? Okay, so workforce diversity. Okay, the definition of workforce diversity is the way in which people in an organization are different from and similar to one another. Okay, so diversity. Okay, when we're talking about diversity, it means that the differences and also the similarity of the people. Okay. Oh, oh, sorry. Yes. Sorry. Okay. Sorry. All right. So workforce diversity is okay. So diversity is when we're talking about diversity, we are talking about the similarity and also at the same time the differences. Okay, of us and other people. Okay, so we are talking about the similarities and the differences from one individual to one individual. So that is diversity. So that's why we always say that everyone is unique. Okay, because even though you have, okay, for example, you and your best friend, okay, you have similar hobby, similar interest and etc, but still you and your you and your best friend will have some differences. Okay, maybe sorry, wait guys, I have visitors, let me check first. Ya. Oh, hantar barang. Okay, ya dulu. Alright. Okay. Sorry guys, just a delivery man. Okay. Alright, so that's okay, that's it. That's about the uniqueness of the individuals. Okay. So even though you are twins, okay, you have lots of similarities. Your preferences, your habit, and etc. But still there are some differences between you and your identical twin. Okay, so even identical twin, okay, even though you see their face is similar, their their behavior is similar, but there are subtle differences between one twin with another twin. So that is diversity. Okay, so that is diversity. All right. So this figure show you the changes. Okay, the evolution of workplace diversity understanding in management study. Okay, so from 1960s to 1970s, okay, people only the workplace diversity only being enforced by the laws and regulation. Okay, so there are only the government. Okay, the government they they put a law, okay, to protect, okay, to protect the to protect the what we call it the minority or uh different races. Okay, for example in US. Okay, so at that time, because US is predominantly is a white people country. Okay, but they also have their own native, okay, the Apache and etc. Okay, and then they also have the black people. Okay, the black people. Okay, so at that time, okay, they have, okay, the black people and also the native in US. Okay, they have been oppressed by the white people. Okay, that is what we call as white people supremacy. Okay, if you still remember your history lesson. Okay, so that is what happened in the United States. Okay, so during 1960s and until 1970s, okay, there are an uprising, okay, by the black people and also by the native. Okay, they want equal rights with the white people. Okay, so that is what happened. So during 1960s to 1970s, the government they start to put laws, okay, to give similar rights to the minorities. Okay, so now not only the majority have the privilege, okay, in the workplace. Okay, now the minorities also receive the similar treatment. Okay, so that is what happened in 1960s to 1970s. Okay, and then during 1980s, okay, they start to focus on assimilating minority and women into corporate setting. Okay, so 1980s, okay, so after the laws have been registered by the government, okay, in 1970s. Okay, so the population, okay, the people, okay, the community itself start to change. So now they start to accepting minorities into their community. Okay, so during early 1980s, okay, the minorities and also women workers start to being assimilated into the workplace. Okay, so before that, minorities and also women, okay, it is rare to see them working in the office. Okay, so starting from 1980s, okay, this scenario start to change. Okay, so now the companies start to accepting minorities. Okay, they also start to accepting women to come to the office to work. Okay, and then late 1980s, concept of workforce diversity expanded from compliance to an issue of business survival. Okay, so starting from 1980s. Okay, so they start to assimilating the minorities, and then until at the end of 1980s, okay, they start they have a new wave of changes. Okay, so now the business owner, they start to see that workforce diversity is not only to comply to the law. They start to see that it is a must, okay, to have a diversity in their workforce. Why? Because now they see that, okay, if we use minorities, now they can open new market. For example, when they hire black people as a salesperson, now the black people start to attract black people customer to buy their new product. So they see that there is a potential when they diversify their workforce. Okay, so in 1980s, okay, the business owners start to realize that workforce diversity is not only to comply to the laws and regulation. Now it is the issue of business survival. It means that if they don't diversify their workforce, okay, their business cannot survive. Okay, they will be overtaken by their competitors. Okay, so starting from 1980s, so the company start to recognize diversity in workplace is something crucial, okay, in their business growth. Okay, right. And then after that, they start to, okay, then from the end of 1980s until the end of 1990s, okay. So after the business owners start to realize that it is a must to have a diversity in the workplace, then they start to focus on fostering sensitivity. Okay, so means that now they already realize that it is a must to have a diversity in the workplace. So now from 1980s to from the late 1980s to late 1990s, okay, they start to give training, they start to give awareness to the workers, okay, so that the workers understand what they should do when their workforce diversity is changing. Okay, because now instead of only men and also only white people come to the office to work, okay, so now they will have black people, they will have native people, they also will have women to come to the office. So there are some issues that they have to control, so that it will not become sensitive to other people. Okay, so they start to give awareness to the staff, to the employee, what how they should deal with the diversity in workplace. Okay, all right, so that is okay, until late 1990s. And then when we enter the new millennium 2000, okay, starting from 2000, now the business owners start to focus on diversity and inclusion for business success. So workforce diversity is seen as a core business issue, important to achieve business success, profitability, and growth. Okay, so now, okay, when from 2000 until now, okay, workforce diversity is not only an issue, it's not only a simple issue. Now it's become a core issue, okay, for the growth of business. Okay, so during late 1980s, they only realized that it is an issue. Okay, it is an important issue. Okay, for their business survival. Now, what? Okay, after 2000 till now, okay, the business owner realized that, okay, the diversity is not only important issue, but it is a core issue. Okay, it is a core issue that will determine the growth of their business. Okay, and then it also will be the core issue that determine the successfulness of their business. Okay, so that is the history of workforce diversity, the history of workforce diversity evolution through from 1960s until now. Okay, all right. Okay, so we already understand what is the definition of diversity. Okay, so we also know the history of how people perceive diversity. Okay, and then now we want to know what type of diversity. So diversity can be classified into two types. Okay, the first one is a surface level. The first one we call it as a surface level diversity. So surface level diversity is okay. So surface level diversity is okay. So what is surface level diversity? So surface level diversity is anything that can easily perceived by your senses. Okay, for example, your eyes can see the the skin color of the person. Okay, all right, and then you also can see the differences in the hair. Okay, some curly, some straight, some wavy, some short, some is bald. Okay, so this what we call as surface diversity, your appearance, something that you can perceive. Okay, surface level diversity is your physical differences, your height, okay, your weight, okay, your face, okay, your eyes, your hair, okay, your skin color, and etc. Okay, so that is surface level diversity. Okay, so anything that you can be perceived by your senses, okay, your eyes, your ears, okay, your hand, okay, so that is what we call as surface level diversity. Okay, and then the second type of diversity is deep level diversity. So deep level diversity, okay, they are talking about the differences in the personality. Okay, your personality, your habit, your value, your behavior, okay, even your religion. So anything that relates to the emotional and also the spiritual part of human being. Okay, so that is deep level diversity. Okay, all right. So that is the classification of diversity. Okay, so we have two category of diversity. Okay, the physical one and also the mental one. Okay, all right. And then why managing diversity is important. Okay, so why it is important to manage diversity. Okay, first of all, it's about people management. So if you want to manage people effectively, you have to understand the personal. Okay, you have to understand the person. Okay, so you have to understand their behavior, you have to understand their value. Okay, you have to understand their code of moral. You also have to understand their habit and etc. Okay, so to understand this, you have to understand the diversity. Okay, you must be able to you must be able to understand, and then you must also be able to manage diversity. Why? Because everyone is different from one another. Okay, so one person, okay, they have different things. Okay, so they one aspect of one person is different from another aspect of one person. Okay, so when we compare a person with a person, okay, in a certain aspect, okay, you can see some differences between them. Okay, so if you can understand, okay, the diversity, and then you have the skill on how to manage the differences between people, then your people management skill is will become more effective and more you can easily, okay, you can easily manage the people. Okay, so that's why it's important to understand how to manage diversity in the workplace. Okay, and then organizational performance. Okay, so once you understand the differences between one people to another people, so you know how to set their goal. Okay, so for for person A, for example, okay, you know his performance is so you know what is his capabilities. Okay, so you put his goal like this. Okay, what is their KPI, right? So their key performance index. Okay, so you put his key performance index like this. Okay, and then you have another employee. Okay, and then you also understand his capabilities. Okay, so his capability is different from person A. So person B have different capabilities. Okay, so you have to set another KPI for person B, which is different from person A. Okay, you cannot use similar KPI to measure person A and person B. Okay, because why? Because their 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 capabilities is different. Okay, so you have to understand, once you understand that every person is different from every person, so you also understand that you cannot measure one person, okay, similar with another person. Okay, it is not fair to measure a person like that. Okay, it's not fair to measure your employees performance like that. So you have to tailor their KPI according to their capabilities. Okay, so now you are being fair to your employees. Okay, so that is the second one, organizational performance. And then strategic, last is strategic. So how you want to strategize. Okay, so when you are working in the office, okay, when you are working as a manager, it means that you are working, okay, you are working with other people, you are managing other people. So how you want to strategize your business, okay, how you want to strategize your work, okay, you have to understand you have to understand their capabilities. Okay, so without understanding different capability of different people, okay, you cannot assign uh, you cannot sini, so you cannot assign, okay, correct person to the job that you want to plan. Okay, adik, sekejap lagi terantuk lagi. Okay, so understanding diversity also will help you in strategizing your business. Okay. 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 So this figure show you the benefit of workforce diversity, benefit of knowing and understanding workforce diversity. Okay, manage. Okay, how you how to manage workforce diversity. Mari. Okay, so first of all, people management. So better use of the employee talent, because now you know everyone is different. Okay, everyone has their own talent, so you know which one is the best to do the job. Okay, and then increase creativity in in team problem solving. Okay, so now because you know their own talent, so now when you want to create a team, you know which team members are better for the team. Okay, so you can you can match the best team members for the team. Okay, so that everyone can contribute something to the team. Okay, and then ability to attract and retain employees of diverse backgrounds. So if you are able to manage diversity in your workplace, so people will recognize your skill. Okay, so you can attract new talent from various backgrounds. Okay, because now they know that you understand diversity. Okay, and you are not a stereotype person. Okay, so you are able to lead them to be a better workers. Okay, all right. And then on organizational performance, okay, you can reduce costs associated with high turnover. Okay, because you understand diversity, so you can manage people effectively. So the chances for people to leave you, okay, to leave your office, okay, is lower. Okay, so you can reduce. So once your turnover is lower, then you can reduce the cost related to turnover. Okay, And then you also can reduce the absenteeism problem, and also any lawsuits, okay, that might happen due to any issue in the office, okay, and then enhance problem solving ability and improve system flexibility. And then lastly, on the strategic part, increase understanding of the marketplace, which improve ability to better market to diverse consumers. Okay, so if you are able to understand the diversity of the people, then you also can apply it to understand the diversity of your consumers. Okay, so what your consumers want. Okay, so everyone has their own needs. Okay, so you have to understand the differences. Okay, the different needs of your customer. Okay, and then potential to improve sales growth and increase market share. Okay, if you are able to understand your customer better, then you have chances to control the market share, because now people are more likely to buy your product compared to your competitors. Okay, so you are more likely to be able to control the market share. Okay, and then potential source of competitive advantage because of improved innovation effort. Okay, and then if you as a moral and ethical, the right thing to do. Okay, that is the benefit of uh, understanding how to manage workforce diversity in the workplace. Okay, all right, so the changing workplace characteristic of US population. So how diverse our workplace, okay, nowadays. Okay, how diverse our workplace nowadays. Okay, all right, so to understand the diversity of the workplace, okay, so we use the example from US, from United States. Okay, so we use example from United States. Okay, so we want to know the diversity in the USA. Okay, so we want to see the total population of the United States, and then the percentage of racial ethnic group, and then the aging population. Okay, all right, so these are the population. Okay, if we can see, okay, we can see in United States. Okay, in 2018, 40% of the population in United States is a foreign born. Okay, means that foreigners. Okay, so foreigners deliver their babies in the United States. Okay, about 14% of the US population is a foreign born children. Adik, sakit kepala tu. Okay, and then the the demographic of US population. Okay, so 70% of US population is white people. Okay, and then 12% is Hispanic people. Okay, and then 12% is black people, and then 4% is Asian people. Okay, and then they predict that that by 2050 the population demographic in US will change drastically. Okay, so now in 2050 they predict that white people white people population is only 47% of the total population in United States. Okay, so now they changing from more than half of population is white. So by 2050 they expect uh, almost half. Okay, only for the white people will lose almost a third of their population to other race. Okay, to other race. Okay, so only 47% of the total population is white people. Okay, now Hispanic people population increased by 39%. Okay, and then black people population also increased to 13%. Okay, and then Asian people also increased to 9%. Okay, so now you can see Okay, so in 2018, the population in United States is we can call it as almost homogeneous. Okay, only less than 30% of the population is other races. Okay, and then more than 70% of the population is white people. Okay, but they predict in 2050 the population demographic will change. Okay, so now only almost half of the population is a white people, and the rest is the other race. Okay, so we can see now the white people is not a dominant. It's not a dominant demographic in the US anymore. Okay, in 2050. Okay, so these are the dynamic of population in the United States. So now instead of almost homogeneous population in United States, now they expect that it will change into a mixed population. Okay, so when we have a mixed population, it means that the diversity in the population will increase. Okay, so the population become more diverse. Okay, so this is what will happen in United States, what they predict in United States. Okay, all right, so that is the example in United States. But how about global workforce changes? Okay, so how about the changes in uh, on the global scale? Okay, so on the global scale, we can see the changes based on the total population in the world. Okay, so the world, okay, our world, okay, our our population, okay, is still in a growing phase. Okay, we are slowly increase our population we slowly increase the population of human being in the world. Okay, so if I'm not mistaken, last 4 or 5 years, the human population in the world is around 4 to 5 billion 5 billion people, like that. Okay, but last 2 years, okay, the human population is around, if I'm not mistaken, is around 7 to 8 billion people. Okay, so we are still growing our population. So the population, okay, the world population is still growing, but the issue is the aging population. Okay, so as our population grows, okay, so does our aging population also grow. Means that nowadays we can see that our population our population now uh, consists of a more aging group. Okay, means that the proportion of people age more than 30% is higher compared to younger group. Okay, means that more old people compared to young people nowadays. Okay, so even though our population is growing, okay, but the age of our population also increasing. Means that more old people compared to young people. Okay, so this is one of the problem in our society now. Okay, so aging population. Okay, all right. So these are the changes that happen on the global scale. Okay. Okay, so what type of diversity you can find in workplace? Okay, so these are some of the example. Okay, some of diversity example in the workplace. Okay, we can be diverse in terms of age. Okay, so age the age of our employee is very diverse. Okay, diverse in the office. Okay, so we have older employee, we have younger employee, okay. We have employee that age 30, we have employee that age 25, we have employee that age 40, even 50, almost retired, okay. So the diversity in terms of age is one of the diversity type we can find in our workplace, okay. And then gender, okay, either it's female or male, okay, we can see it, okay. We can see we have lots of diversity in terms of gender, okay. And then race and ethnicity, okay. So this one also is a quite common, especially here in Malaysia, because we have a multi-race, we have a multi-race population, okay. So we can see this one very frequently lah, okay. So many company have multiple race working together in one office, okay. And then the disability or abilities, okay. Right. So if your hey, if your company is very open, okay, to hire disability, also that also become a type of diversity in your workplace, okay. And then religion, okay. So when we have a different race, okay, we also will have different religion, okay. So one people is Muslim, one people is Hindu, another workers is Buddha, okay. And then another one is Christian, and etc., okay. So that is diversity in terms of religion, okay. And then diversity in terms of LGBT, okay. Lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender, okay. So some company and not some country, uh some, what we call it, some culture, they can accept the LGBT group, okay. For example in US, for example in Europe, okay. So they already accepting this kind of group, okay. But here in Malaysia, I think also in most of the Asian country, okay, the LGBT group is not being accepted by the society, okay. Right. So this one is another issue lah, okay. So we can discuss it very long lah, okay. So there is we will leave it like that lah, okay. And then other diversity, okay. Other diversity, for example, the habit, your behavior, your moral, okay, your moral value, okay. So all those things are the common type of diversity you can find in workplace, okay. All right. So this one, okay. So this is just the description, okay, about the type of diversity in workplace. Okay, so first is age. Both Title 7 of the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and the Age Discrimination in Employment Act 1967. This one is the law in US, okay, prohibit age discrimination. Okay, so in US, okay, in United States, they have a law, okay. They have two laws, okay, that cater about age discrimination. It means that maybe some company, they don't want to hire older people, okay. So they lay off all their older employees, okay, because they want to cut costs on that matter, okay. So in US, they have two laws, okay, that prevent this kind of action to be happen in the businesses, okay. So this is one of the for diversity, okay. And then gender, okay. Gender, here we can see that almost half of the workforce in the world right now are composed of female workers, okay. So we cannot say anymore that our workforce is mostly is mostly one gender, okay. Previously, during the earlier age, okay, the earlier age, maybe during the the Industrial Revolution, okay, during 1800, okay, 1800 and early 1900, yes, the workforce in the world mostly comes from men. Okay, so women are only stay at home. Okay, handling the family, or they do some or they will work at the home only. Okay, the main workforce is composed of male. Okay, solely male. Okay, but nowadays, okay, because of the work because of the understanding in workforce diversity. Okay, almost half of the workforce consists of women. Okay, all right, so it's almost balanced. Okay, the diversity in terms of gender is almost balanced in the workforce nowadays. Okay, and then race, the biological. So race is about the biological heritage, including skin color and associated trait that people use to identify themselves. Okay, so when we're talking about race, okay, most of the time we are talking about the physical appearance of the person. For example, the skin color. For example, the height, the hair, okay, and etc. So that is what we call as race. Okay, so that is race, the biological heritage or the physical appearance of the person. Okay, and then we have another type of diversity, which is ethnicity. So ethnicity is about social traits such as culture, background, or allegiance that are shared by a human population. Okay, so ethnic. Okay, when we are talking about ethnic, we are talking about the culture. Okay, so so for race, we are talking about the physical appearance of the person. Okay, and then for ethnic, we are talking about their culture. Okay, the differences in culture. Okay, all right, and then disability or ability. The Americans with Disabilities Act of 1990 prohibits discrimination against person with disabilities. Okay, so again, in US they have their own law that uh, that not allowing people to discriminate against people with disabilities. Okay, and then lastly, religion. Title 7 of the Civil Rights Act prohibit discrimination on the basis of religion. Okay. All right. So why? So why most employers they don't like to hire disabled employees. Okay. So they state, okay, here in this figure we can see 4 reasons why employers don't like to take disabled workers as their employee. Okay, the first reason is because they feel that hiring people with disability that leads to higher employment costs and lower profit margin. Okay, so these are their first reason, because they fear that when they hire people with disabilities, okay, these people will reduce their profit margin. Okay, these people can reduce their profit margin, okay, and increase their costs. Okay, but in reality, absentee rates for sick time are virtually equal between employee with and without disabilities. Workers' disability are not a factor in formulas calculating insurance costs for worker compensation. Okay, so actually in reality there is no additional cost when you want to hire people with disabilities. Okay, all right, so their performance also is similar with people without disability, so you will not lose anything when you hire people with disabilities. Okay, and then the second reason, workers with disability lack job skill and experience necessary to perform as well as their able counterpart. Okay, so they said that people with disability don't have the same skill set with people that don't have disabilities. But in reality, commonplace technologies such as internet and voice recognition software have eliminated many of the obstacles for workers with disability. Many individuals with disability have great problem-solving skill, from finding creative way to perform tasks that others are take for granted. Okay, but so the reality is, okay, the performance of the workers are not related to their disabilities. Okay, and then the technology also the technology nowadays also helps the disabled people to be able to perform on par with people without disabilities. Okay, so the technology helps helps people with disabilities to to work on the same level with people without disabilities. Okay, all right, and then the third one, uncertainty over how to take potential disciplinary action with a worker with disabilities. Okay. All right. That is the third reason why employer don't want to hire disabled people, because they said that they don't know how to punish them if they doing any disciplinary action. Okay, but the reality is, person with disability for whom workplace accommodation have been provided has the same obligation and right as far as job performance. Okay, actually their fear is a baseless fear, because you actually have the right as an employer to punish your employee if they do they do some mistake in their job. Okay, you have the right. Okay, you have the right to take any disciplinary action if they are not following the rules and regulation of the company. Okay, so there is no such thing as people with disabilities have privilege. Okay, not being executed if they do any disciplinary action. Okay, if they broke any laws and regulation of the company. Okay, there are no such thing. Okay, and then lastly, the employer fear that high cost associated with accommodating disabled employees. The employer fear that they have to spend money to prepare accommodation for the disabled workers. Okay, the reality, most workers with disability require no accommodation, but for those who do, more than half of the workplace modification costs 500 or less. Okay, in reality, to accommodate for disabled person, okay, you don't have to spend you don't have to spend much. Okay, because the modification to accommodate the disabled person is less than $500. Okay, duduklah. Okay,
Yes, sir. Okay.
all right, sorry. Okay, that is about disabilities. And then lastly, we have LGBT and other type of diversity. So LGBT is in two separate US Supreme Court cases, the justice held that transgender and lesbian, bisexual, and gay individuals are protected by Title 7 prohibition against sexual discrimination. Okay, so in US, okay, in US the LGBT group is being protected by the law. Okay, so if you bias, okay, towards people from LGBT group in US, you can be sued under the laws in United States. Okay, but here in Malaysia we don't have such law yet. Okay, I don't know what will happen in the future, but till this date, okay, we don't have any law that deal with the LGBT group yet. Okay, and then other type of diversity, diversity refers to any dissimilarity or differences that might be present in workplace. So any differences that you can identify in the workplace, okay, that can be the other type of diversity. Okay. What are the challenges when you want to manage diversity? Okay, when there is a different when there is a differences, okay, from between a person, it will create some friction. Okay, so it will create some issues. Okay, so maybe because, for example, when you are facing with one problem, okay, your idea is your idea to solve the problem is A. Okay, and then maybe your colleague, okay, your colleague, okay, he has another idea, okay, and then he come up with suggestion B to solve the problem. Okay, in some cases, okay, these differences, the differences in the idea how to solve the problem can become a friction, can become an issue between between these two people. Okay, so the problem, okay, there is, okay, when we are talking about diversity, okay, it will involve some problem, okay, because the differences between people, it can create friction, okay, in the relationship. Okay, so what kind of problem you can find when you want to manage diversity in your workplace. Okay, so first of all is the bias. Okay, the first problem, okay, the first challenges when you want to manage diversity in the workplace is bias. So bias is tendency or preference toward a particular perspective or ideology. Okay, so bias is means that you are stick to one idea instead of other idea. For example, okay, when you want to hire new employees, okay, so you have to do interview. Okay, you have to do interview. Okay, so after three interviewee, okay, uh, after you interview three potential candidate, okay, then the fourth one, okay, the fourth candidate, okay, you like him so much, okay, you really like him because you can see from how he communicate, how he present himself, okay, you can see that he is suitable for the position. Okay, okay, and then after that you, okay, and then you start, okay, when you, okay, because you already like the candidate number 4, so now candidate number 5 and 6, okay, you start to compare them to the candidate number 4. Okay, wait, okay, sorry, I have a call, wait. Okay, sorry guys. Okay. All right. So let's continue our lesson. Okay. So once you already like the candidate number 4, okay, the candidate after candidate number 4, you will start to judge them based on candidate number 4. Okay, you will start to make comparison. Okay, so the comparison, okay, the comparison that you do, that is what we call as bias. Okay, means that you already have a tendency to accept, you already have a tendency towards candidate number 4. Okay, you are not being neutral anymore. Okay, so that is bias. Okay, so bias can happen to everyone. Everyone has their own bias. Okay, because you have you have your own preferences, right? You already know what you like, what you didn't like. Okay, so anything that you like or you didn't like, that is what you call as bias, your tendency toward one idea. Okay, so that is what we call as bias. Okay, so everyone has their own bias. Okay, you cannot say that you are not a biased people. Okay, so everyone has their own bias. Okay, either your bias can change into something else or not. That is what we know, that is what we need to monitor. Okay, because bias can become a prejudice. Okay, from bias it can become a prejudice. Okay, so what is prejudice? Prejudice is a preconceived belief, opinion, or judgment toward a person or a group of people. Okay, so prejudice is a pre is a preconceived ideas that you already have. For example, okay, so for example, you have a history where you being robbed by black people. Okay, so you have a history where you are being robbed by black people. Okay, then because of the accident, you have a bias that you said black people is dangerous. Okay, so that is your bias. Okay, all right. So when you have a bias, okay, it's still normal, because that is what happened to everyone. The problem is when you become a prejudice. Okay, when your bias when your bias change into prejudice. So now, okay, because now you already have a bias that you think black people is dangerous. Okay, so the consequences, okay, that change from bias to prejudice is, now you start to label every black people as a robbers. Okay, so that is prejudice. Okay, when you start to judge people based on your belief, that is what we call as prejudice. Okay, all right. So when you already only have preferences, that is what we call as bias. When you start to make decision or judgment based on your bias, that is what we call as prejudice. Okay, all right. Okay, and then next challenges you will facing when you want to manage diversity is stereotype and discrimination. Okay. Okay. So once you have a prejudice, now it can grow into a stereotyping. Okay. For example, just because that people is a black people, then you start to label them as a robbers. Okay. That is stereotyping. Okay. Judging a person based on a perception of a group to which that person belong. Okay. So it's quite similar with the prejudice. Stereotyping and prejudice is almost similar lah. Okay. So the differences is, prejudice is about your belief, your idea, your decision. Okay. Stereotype prejudice also about judging. But stereotyping is only judging. Okay. So prejudice can be decision, can be judgment, okay, can be ideas, okay. So you have several action you can take under prejudice. But stereotyping is only about judging people, okay. So you judge people, okay, you judge the people is same, okay, based on the group he belongs to. For example, you are a woman, okay, okay, and then you being cheated by your boyfriend, okay, and then just because your boyfriend, okay, because your boyfriend is man, right? So you judge that all men is a liar, okay. So that is stereotyping, okay. You judge all men is similar to your boyfriend just because they are men, okay. So that is stereotyping, okay. And then lastly, stereotyping can become a discrimination when you start to act based on your decision or based on your judgment. That is what we call as discrimination, okay. So discrimination is the action, okay, from the stereotyping or from the prejudice, okay. So you can see how it grows, okay. So from the idea bias, okay, and then you start, okay, you come to the from the idea, okay, it become your decision, okay, and then it become your judgment, okay, and then lastly it become your action, okay. So these are the challenges when you want to manage diversity in the workplace, okay. So there are four challenges, okay. The first one is bias. The second one is prejudice. The third one is stereotyping. And lastly is discrimination. Okay? Eh, barang-barang. Okay? So that is the challenges you will be facing in the when you want to manage diversity in the workplace. Okay? All right. So and then discrimination can be classified into several forms. Okay. So the first form is discriminatory policies or practices. Okay. So what is discriminatory policy or practices? It is action taken by a representative of the organization that deny equal opportunity to perform or unequal reward for performance. Okay. For example, older worker may be targeted for layoff because they are highly paid and have lucrative benefit. Okay. And then we have another type of discrimination, which is sexual harassment. Unwanted, okay. The definition is unwanted sexual advances and other verbal or physical conduct of a sexual nature that create a hostile or offensive work environment. Okay. For example, salespeople at one company went on a company paid visit to strip club, brought strippers into the office to celebrate promotion and fostered a pervasive sexual rumors. Okay, so these are the example. Okay, and then the third type of discrimination is intimidation, overt threat or bullying directed at members of specific group of employees. For example, African American employees at some company have found nooses hanging over their workstation. Okay, and then the fourth type of discrimination is mockery and insult. Okay, any joke or negative stereotype, sometimes the result of joke taken too far. For example, Arab American have been asked at work whether they were carrying bombs or they were members of terrorist organization. Okay, and then the next one is exclusion of certain people from job opportunities, social event, discussion, or informal mentoring can occur unintentionally. For example, many women in finance claim they are assigned to marginal job role or are given light workloads that don't lead to promotion. Okay, and then the last type of discrimination is incivility. So what is incivility? It is a disrespect treatment, including behaving in an aggressive manner, interrupting the person, or ignoring his or her opinion. For example, female team members are frequently cut off in meetings. Okay, so these are the 6 type of discrimination that can happen in a workplace. Okay, and then lastly, we have another problem that we might facing when we manage diversity in the workplace. Okay, the last problem is what we call as glass ceiling. So what is glass ceiling? So glass ceiling is invisible barrier that separate women and minority from top management position. Okay, so decision maker in organization need to actively take action to eliminate glass ceiling. So glass ceiling is a term where in some company they don't want minorities or women to be in the top management. Okay, they don't want minorities or women to be their decision maker in the company. So what they do, they put like a barrier. Okay, it's like a transparent barrier. Okay, so that the minority or woman, okay, or woman, they cannot climb to the top management even though they are capable to be a good top management manager. Okay, all right, so that is what we call as glass ceiling. Okay, all right, so legal aspect of workplace diversity. Workplace diversity needs to be more than understanding and complying with federal law. Okay, so workforce diversity is being protected by the law. Okay, so every country, they have their own laws to protect the rights of minority and also women. Okay, in the workplace. Okay, they also have they also have law that you can use if let's say you are being sexually harassed in your office. Okay, you can use. They have their own law. Okay, but the diversity in the workplace, okay, not only you should not only care about diversity in your workplace just because you want to abide to the law. Okay, you want to be more than understand the law and complying to the laws. Okay, all right, so guys, let's take a 5 minutes break. Okay, so let's take a 5 minute break. Okay, so that we can and then we can continue back around 4:35. Okay. Okay, guys. So let's continue our lesson. Okay. So you are not only care about the diversity of your workplace due to the law only. Okay, so you must be active in managing the diversity of your workplace. Okay. All right. Okay. So pay inequities. Okay. So the Equal Pay Act of 1963 made it illegal to pay different amount to men and women during the same work. However, as of 2017, women make only 82% of what a man makes in a comparable job. For younger women, the gap is smaller, but younger women still make less than their male counterpart. Okay, so there is a research done in United States. Okay, about equality in paycheck between men and women. Okay, they want to compare how much a woman make. Okay, all right, when they are working in the same field of the man, means that their position is similar, their work responsibility is similar. Okay, their experience is similar. Okay, so they want to compare how much their salary per month. Okay, and then based on their study, okay, all right, they find out that almost all, okay, 82% of almost all of the women that work in the workforce, okay, get lower salary compared to men. Okay, 82% of women in 2017, okay, make okay, oh sorry, sorry, into okay, well, what they do, okay, they find out that uh the women, okay, the women makes uh almost, okay, the woman was paid less than when, okay, in the same position, okay, same responsibility, same experience, same capability, and etc. The women is paid less than what men get, okay, in the comparable position. Okay, or okay, the women only make 82% of salary, okay, of a man's salary. Is that man is paid almost one fifth, okay, actually the okay, man was paid one fifth more than what women was paid for the same position. Okay, the women only make four fifth of the man's total salary. Okay, that means that, okay, 80%, okay, 20%, okay, the man is paid 20% more compared to women. Okay, so this is one of the study that has been conducted in US. Okay, so even nowadays there is still inequalities, okay, between men and women, even though woman population in the workforce is almost half. Okay, but still okay, the payment for men and women is different. Okay, so some company they tend to pay less to the women. Okay, so these are the finding that they get from a study in 2017. Okay, so how you as a manager want to initiate the diversity understanding in the workplace. Okay, some business do effectively manage diversity. Some organization mandate diversity training every month. Okay, so you can use uh, frequent diversity training to always remind your staff about the importance of diversity in the workplace. Okay, there are numerous diversity initiatives that firm can use to increase the diversity of their workforce, including top management commitment to diversity, mentoring, diversity training, and then employee resource group. Okay, so let's we go down one by one. Okay, so we have here they already list out four initiative or four action you can take to encourage diversity understanding in your workplace. For example, okay, for the first one, top management commitment to diversity. So top management commitment is probably the most important factor in achieving a diverse workforce. Management needs to integrate diversity into all aspects of firm business, including all stakeholders and the supply chain. Policies and procedures should be in place to address issues immediately. Okay. So the most important part when you want to diversify your workforce is from the top management itself. Okay, because the top management is the one who decide the direction of the business. Okay, if they don't want to they want to embrace diversity into their workplace, then you as a manager, you don't have any power to disobey them. Okay, you can only persuade them, and you can try to convince them to embrace the diversity. That's all. Okay, because everything must come from the top management. Okay, so the top management commitment is important to ensure that the diversity in the workplace can be achieved. Okay, so okay. Okay. So the top management must understand. Okay. They must understand about they must understand about the diversity in the workplace. Okay. And then they must committed to employ that in their workplace. Okay. So they should come up with any policies, any procedures, any laws and regulation of the company. Okay. They must they must design this thing so that people can follow it. Okay, and then they also must ensure that all stakeholder and also all the external parties also embracing the diversity in the workplace. Okay, and then the next step is mentoring. Okay, so mentoring is a process where an experienced organizational member, a mentor, provide advice and guidance to less experienced member or protege. Okay, so and then another step we can take to to improve diversity in workplace is by mentoring. Okay, so you can employ one experienced employee, okay, to guide the new employee, the protege, how to embrace diversity in workplace, how they want to deal with diversity, how they should avoid discrimination. Okay, so the mentor can give advice to the protege. Okay, so they know how to avoid sexual harassment, why they should embrace diversity. Okay, how they want to embrace the diversity, the ways how to talk with the different people, and etc. Okay, so you can also use mentoring to enhance the understanding, the awareness about diversity in workplace. Okay, and then you do a training. Okay, you conduct a training to give to provide the staff with skills how to deal with diversity in workplace. Okay, so you conduct a what you call as diversity skill training. So what is diversity skill training? Is a specialized training to educate employee about the importance of diversity and teach them skill for working in diverse workplace. Okay, so you must train them. So you as the employer, it is your responsibility to give training to your employees so that they first of all is understand, they aware about the diversity, and then they also know how to deal with diverse workplace. Okay, they also know how to deal with differences, how to deal with conflicts, how to deal with diversity in the workplace. So you have to give the training to the employee so that they know how they want to embrace the diversity in workplace. Okay, and then lastly, employee resource group. Okay, so employee resource group is a group made up of employees connected by some common dimension of diversity. Okay, so it means that you create a group, a support group. For example, okay, for example, you are in US, right? For example, you set up a company in US. Okay, so in US, the dominant race there is white people. Okay, and then we have minorities, we have the native, we have the black people, Asian people, okay, Hispanic people, South American people, and etc. So there are lots of minority in US. Okay, so when you set up a company there, okay, so you want to support the minorities, okay, in your company. So you create a group, okay, you allow them to make a group, okay, so the group become the support group to the minority. So anything they have problem, they can come to the group, okay, they can make a complaint or make a suggestion and etc. And then the group can bring it up to the top management. So the top management can check it, okay, and then verify it, and then maybe if there is some suggestion, maybe they will think about it and maybe they can implement it. Okay, so that is what we call as employee resource group. It's like a support group for the diversity, to support the diversity in office. Okay. Okay. All right. So some final thoughts on diversity. So has identity politics led to an obsession with celebrating differences? Does this hinder unifying employees around a common goal? Okay. So these are some of the things that you can think about when you talking about diversity. So is a political view is one of the factors in diversity. Okay. And in some cases it can create a big friction between the employees. So how to solve this issue. Okay, all right. And then, do long established practice undermine diversity? Do employees referral and team building reduce diversity? All right. Okay, so that is another question. Okay, does the old practices in the business world, okay, reduce diversity? Okay, all right. And then last question is, does supporting diversity conflict with rewarding merit? Sorry. If you promote a diversity platform, what happens to the promoting based solely on merit? Okay, all right. So these are some of the questions you can ask yourself when you want to embrace diversity in your workplace. Okay, all right. Okay, so that's it for chapter number 5. Okay, so all right. So guys, that's all from me for today. Okay, so before we end our class, is there any question you want to ask before we end our class, guys?
Sir.
Hello. Okay, so is there any question you want to ask?
No, sir.
Okay,
No
all right.
question.
If okay, it's okay. All right. So if there is no question, so I think that's all from me today. Okay. So as usual, please leave your name. Okay, please leave your detail in the chat in this class before you leave the class. Okay, or else I will not consider you to come to the class. Okay, so please leave your details there. Okay, so that I will take it as your attendance. Okay, so thank you guys for coming. Okay, then I will see you next week for another topics in this subject. Okay, all right. So thank you
Okay, sir.
guys. Okay, so thank you guys. Have a
Okay,
nice
sir.
day.
Thank you.
Right. Okay, welcome. And I see you
Thank
next
you,
week
sir.
in the next chapter. Okay, welcome. Welcome. Okay, don't forget to leave your details before you leave. Okay.
Yes, yes, sir.
paham. Ya, bro. paham. তুমি বুঝছো? হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ হয়েছে হয়েছে। পাঠাইছে আমি দেখলাম না।